Ladies and gentlemen, look around you. Everything you see, the phone in your pocket, the chair you're sitting on, the very lights above your head, once existed only in someone's mind. A simple thought, a dream, an idea. But dreams don't remain dreams in the minds of those who refuse to let them die. They become reality in the hands of those who dare to chase them. The world is not shaped by those who accept things as they are, but by those who imagine what could be. The ones who dream with their eyes open, who see possibility where others see impossibility, who refuse to be trapped by limitations imposed by others. Because here's the truth, every invention, every breakthrough, every masterpiece began with a single person who believed. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, it is not luck, it is the unwavering belief that what they see in their mind can be brought into existence. Those who change the world are not necessarily the smartest or the strongest. They are the ones who refuse to settle. They are the ones who keep going when the path is uncertain. They are the ones who are willing to fail, to stumble, to be laughed at. Because they know that the only thing more painful than failure is regret. The moment you allow the world to tell you what is possible, you have already lost. The greatest minds, the ones who left their mark on history, never asked for permission. They never waited for the perfect moment. They created it. They knew that the future doesn't belong to those who sit and wait. It belongs to those who build it. And yes, it will be hard. People will doubt you. You will doubt yourself. There will be moments when everything feels like it's falling apart. But remember this, every great success story is written with chapters of struggle. Every triumph is carved out of moments of uncertainty. The question is, will you keep turning the pages? Will you keep moving forward when everything inside you tells you to quit? You have one life, one shot at turning the vision in your mind into something real. The only thing standing between you and the future you dream of is the courage to start, the perseverance to keep going, and the refusal to give up. So go, dream, build, create, and never stop until the world sees what you have always known was possible. Imagine a world where no one dared to dream, a world where people accepted everything as it was, never questioning, never imagining, never believing that things could be different. In such a world, there would be no airplanes soaring through the sky, no life-saving medicines, no music that stirs the soul, no technology that connects us across continents. Everything we take for granted today exists because someone, somewhere, refused to let their dream remain just an idea. They saw something in their mind that others could not see, and instead of dismissing it as impossible, they pursued it with relentless determination. The most extraordinary things in life begin as a simple thought, a spark, a vision that refuses to be ignored. But a dream, no matter how powerful, is useless unless it is nurtured, believed in, and fought for. The moment you allow doubt to creep in, the moment you listen to those who say, that's not realistic, you risk burying something that could have changed the world. Every great innovator, every leader, every game changer was once told their dream was foolish. And yet, they pressed on. Not because they had guarantees, not because success was certain, but because they understood something most people do not. Dreams are the seeds of reality. The difference between those who create the future and those who simply exist in it is the courage to believe in the unseen, to trust that an idea, no matter how impossible it seems at first, has the power to become something real. If you look at history, you'll find that the people who made the greatest impact were not special in the way the world often defines greatness. They were not always the most educated, the wealthiest, or the strongest. They were the ones who dared to dream and refused to let those dreams fade into the background of their lives. So ask yourself, what vision is buried inside you? What idea keeps you awake at night? What possibility do you see that the rest of the world ignores? Because the reality is this, if you do not chase it, if you do not fight for it, no one else will. The world does not change on its own. It changes when a person, just like you, decides that their dream matters enough to become a reality. The world as we know it was not built by those who simply accepted things as they were. It was built by those who dared to question, to challenge, to dream of something better. The ones who refused to be prisoners of the present and instead became architects of the future. They did not ask for permission to change the world. They simply did it because they knew that every great advancement, every revolution, every masterpiece first existed in the mind before it became a reality. The most influential people in history were not necessarily the strongest or the wealthiest. They were the ones who saw what others could not. They looked at a blank canvas and envisioned a masterpiece. They saw an empty field and imagined a city. They heard silence and composed a symphony, while the rest of the world was busy explaining why something couldn't be done. They were already working on making it happen. Their power did not come from physical strength or social status. It came from their ability to dream without limits and act without fear. The truth is, the world does not change on its own. It does not evolve by accident. It is shaped by those who refuse to settle, those who refuse to accept mediocrity, those who wake up every morning with a fire inside them that says, I will make a difference. If you look around and see problems, understand that problems exist so that visionaries can solve them. Every invention, every breakthrough, every piece of technology you rely on today was created by someone who saw a gap and refused to ignore it. The question is, will you be one of them? Will you be the person who dreams and then shrinks back in fear? Or will you be the person who steps forward and says, why not me? Because history is not written by those who sit on the sidelines. It is written by those who dare to believe that their vision matters. It is written by those who see beyond the present, those who refuse to conform, those who take the risk and embrace the unknown. The future is not waiting for someone else, it is waiting for you. The only question that remains is whether you will step up and create it. The world has a way of making you believe that success belongs only to a select few, the geniuses, the wealthy, the privileged. But if you look closely, you'll see that the people who changed history were not always the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. They were simply the ones who refused to give up. They believed in their vision so deeply that nothing, no failure, no rejection, no criticism could shake them. Because the truth is, success does not belong to those who are born extraordinary. It belongs to those who refuse to stop. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is not intelligence or luck. It is the unshakable belief that what they see in their mind can be brought to life. They are the ones who, when faced with doubt, choose faith. When confronted with obstacles, they find a way. When others tell them it's impossible, they keep going. This belief is not just about confidence, it's about commitment. A commitment to a vision, even when no one else sees it yet. A commitment to keep pushing forward, even when nothing seems to be working. Many people have ideas. Many people dream, but few have the belief and the persistence to turn those dreams into reality. The ones who do are not always the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They understand that failure is not a sign to stop, but a lesson to grow. They know that doubt is just noise, and the only voice that truly matters is the one inside them telling them to keep going. So ask yourself, do you believe in your dream enough to fight for it? Enough to keep going when the world tells you to quit? Because if you don't believe in it, no one else will. Your dream needs you to trust it, to protect it, to bring it to life with your own hands. The people who leave their mark on this world are not those who waited for permission, nor those who had everything handed to them. They are the ones who decided that their vision mattered and then made the world see it too. There comes a moment in life when you have to decide whether you will settle for what is easy, what is comfortable, what is expected, or whether you will reach for something greater. Most people choose the easy path. They settle for a life that is familiar, predictable, and safe. They trade their dreams for security, their passion for routine, and their potential for comfort. But the ones who make a real impact, the ones who shape the world, refuse to settle. They know that greatness is never found in the comfort zone. It is found in the risk, in the unknown, in the relentless pursuit of something more. The truth is, settling is the slow death of a dream. The moment you accept a life that is less than what you are capable of, you start to fade. Not all at once, but little by little. You stop challenging yourself. You stop growing. You stop believing that you are meant for something extraordinary. And before you know it, the fire inside you that once burned so brightly has turned into nothing but ashes. But here's the thing. Your dream does not disappear just because you ignore it. It lingers. It whispers. It reminds you in quiet moments that you were meant for more. And deep down, you know it too. You were not born to simply exist. You were not put on this earth to go through the motions, to blend in, to live the same story as everyone else. You were born to create, to lead, to push boundaries, to do something that has never been done before. The only way to honor that purpose is to refuse to settle, to reject mediocrity, to say no to the voices that tell you to be realistic, to be practical, to stay in your lane. The people who leave their mark on this world are the ones who look at an ordinary life and say, this is not enough. They are the ones who take the harder road, the uncertain road, the road that is filled with obstacles, but also filled with possibility. So the choice is yours. You can take the easy way out, let your dreams shrink, and live a life that is comfortable but unfulfilled. Or you can take the risk, chase your vision with everything you have, and refuse to stop until you turn it into reality. Because in the end, the greatest tragedy is not failing. The greatest tragedy is never trying at all. Failure. It's a word that most people fear, a word that stops dreams before they even begin. But the truth is, failure is not the end of the road, it is the road. Every person who has ever accomplished something great has failed, not once, not twice, but over and over again. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The ones who succeed see failure not as a sign to stop, but as proof that they are moving forward. Too many people let failure define them. The moment they face rejection, the moment they stumble, the moment something doesn't go as planned, they tell themselves, maybe this isn't for me. And just like that, their dream dies. Not because it was impossible, but because they were unwilling to fight for it. But the ones who change the world understand something most people don't. Failure is a teacher, a guide, a necessary step in the process of success. Look at any great innovator, any leader, any creator. Their journey is not a straight line to success. It is filled with setbacks, wrong turns, disappointments, and struggles. But instead of giving up, they use those moments as fuel. They analyze their mistakes, they adjust their approach, they grow stronger. They understand that every failure carries a lesson, and every lesson brings them one step closer to their goal. The world does not remember those who played it safe, it remembers those who dared to fail spectacularly and kept going anyway. If you are afraid of failing, you are afraid of growing. If you refuse to take risks, you refuse to evolve. The only real failure is never trying at all, because in the end, the people who succeed are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are simply the ones who refuse to give up. So when failure comes knocking, and it will, don't run from it. Don't let it break you. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Because the dream that matters most is the one you refuse to let go of, no matter how many times you fall. Most people wait for the perfect moment to start. They wait until they have more money, more knowledge, more experience. They wait for approval, for validation, for certainty. And in all that waiting, their dreams slip further and further away. But here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. There never will be. If you wait for everything to be just right, you will be waiting forever. The people who change the world are not the ones who had all the answers before they began. They are the ones who started anyway. The greatest ideas, the most revolutionary breakthroughs, all began as something small, a sketch on a napkin, a thought scribbled in a notebook, a conversation late at night. No one begins with perfection. No one starts with all the resources or all the knowledge. They start with what they have, where they are, and they build from there. They take the first step, even when they don't know what the second step will be. They take risks, they make mistakes, they figure things out along the way. If you keep waiting for the stars to align, you will wake up one day and realize that life has passed you by, that the dream you once had is now just a memory of something you never pursued. And that is a far greater failure than any mistake you could make along the way, because time does not wait, opportunities do not wait, the world will not stop moving until you feel ready. The only way to make your dream a reality is to start, not tomorrow, not next week, not when things feel easier, right now. Start small, start messy, start before you feel prepared, because once you take that first step, momentum begins, doors open that you never even saw before. The universe rewards those who take action. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence or talent. It is the willingness to begin even when the path is unclear. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Whatever dream is inside you, whatever vision keeps you awake at night, take the first step today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be something. Because once you start, you are no longer just a dreamer, you are a creator, and that is where the journey truly begins. The world is filled with opinions. Everywhere you go, people will have something to say about your dreams. Some will doubt you, some will criticize you, some will tell you to be realistic, to stay in your comfort zone, to follow the path that everyone else is following. And if you listen to them, if you allow their voices to be louder than your own, you will spend your life living someone else's version of success. The truth is, the greatest achievements in history were not made by people who followed the crowd. They were made by those who ignored the noise and trusted their instincts. The ones who understood that the world does not need another person who conforms. It needs someone who dares to be different. Someone who sees things in a way no one else does. Someone who is willing to take the road that no one else is willing to walk. The moment you decide to chase your dream, there will be people who tell you it's impossible, not because they truly know what you are capable of, but because they are limited by their own fears. They project their doubts onto you because they never had the courage to pursue their own dreams. But their fears are not your reality. Their limits are not your limits. You do not need their approval. You do not need their permission. You only need your own belief. The ones who succeed, the ones who build legacies, are the ones who trust themselves even when no one else does. They are the ones who drown out the negativity, who stay focused on their vision, who refuse to let outside opinions dictate their path. Because in the end, no one else is responsible for your dream. No one else will build it for you. No one else will put in the hours, the effort, the dedication. That is your job. So stop looking for validation. Stop waiting for others to believe in you before you believe in yourself. The world does not get to decide your destiny, you do. The only voice that truly matters is the one inside you, the one that whispers, keep going. Trust it, follow it, and never let the noise of others drown out the sound of your own vision. The journey to making your dreams a reality is not a straight road. It is filled with challenges, obstacles, and moments that will test everything you believe in. There will be times when nothing seems to work, when progress feels slow, when you start questioning whether your dream is even possible. This is where most people give up. They see struggle as a sign that they are on the wrong path. They mistake temporary setbacks for permanent failure. But the truth is, struggle is not a sign to stop. It is proof that you are growing. Nothing great has ever been built without resistance. The greatest innovations, the most iconic achievements, all came from people who refused to back down when things got hard. They understood that every struggle, every obstacle was a stepping stone, not a roadblock. They learned to see challenges not as something to avoid, but as something to embrace, because growth does not happen in comfort. Strength is not built in ease. Everything you need to succeed, resilience, creativity, persistence, is forged in the moments when you feel like giving up but choose to keep going. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is not talent, not intelligence, not luck. It is the ability to endure, to keep moving forward even when the path is uncertain, to push through the frustration, the failures, the moments when the world tells you to quit. The people who succeed are the ones who develop the mindset that struggle is not an enemy, it is a teacher. If your dream truly matters to you, then you must be willing to fight for it. You must be willing to face the setbacks, the failures, the long nights of doubt and frustration. Because every time you push through, every time you choose persistence over quitting, you are proving to yourself and to the world that your dream is worth it. The world does not reward those who start and stop when it gets tough. It rewards those who show up day after day, no matter how difficult it gets. So when struggle comes, and it will, embrace it. Let it shape you, let it strengthen you, let it teach you, because the dream that survives struggle is the one that becomes unstoppable. And when you finally reach your goal, you will look back and realize that every challenge, every hardship, every moment of doubt was not in your way, it was the way. At the end of it all, when the noise fades, when the distractions disappear, when you stand alone with your thoughts, one question remains. Did you live the life you truly wanted? Not the life others expected of you, not the life that felt safe, but the life that set your soul on fire. Most people spend their years chasing what the world tells them is success. They follow the rules, check the boxes, do what they are told. But somewhere along the way, they forget what truly mattered to them. They forget the dream that once kept them awake at night. They forget that life is not measured by how much you fit in, but by how boldly you stand out. Regret is a heavy burden, not for the things you did, but for the things you never dared to do, the ideas you never pursued, the risks you never took, the dreams you left behind because you were too afraid of failure, too caught up in what others might think, too comfortable in the ordinary. But the truth is, time does not wait. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. And one day, you will either look back with pride, knowing you gave everything to your vision, or with regret, wishing you had just started. The world is shaped by those who dare to live fully, who refuse to let fear dictate their choices, the ones who chase their dreams relentlessly, knowing that life is too short to play small. They understand that every day is a chance to move closer to their vision, to build something meaningful, to create a legacy that will outlive them. This moment right now is your chance. Your future is being shaped by what you choose to do today. Will you let fear stop you? Will you let doubt hold you back? Or will you take the leap, chase what truly matters to you, and live with the certainty that you gave it everything you had? Because in the end, success is not about money, fame, or status. It is about knowing deep in your heart that you lived on your own terms, that you chased your vision, that you refused to settle, that you turned your dream into reality. And that, above all else, is what makes a life worth living. In the grand story of life, every person has a choice to dream or to settle, to create or to conform, to live fully or to merely exist. The difference between those who leave their mark on the world and those who fade into the background is not luck, not privilege, not intelligence. It is the courage to believe in something greater, to see beyond what exists and work tirelessly to bring it to life. Every great innovation, every revolution, every masterpiece began as a dream in the mind of someone who refused to accept the ordinary, someone who looked at the world and saw not just what is, but what could be. They were not the ones with the easiest paths, nor the ones who had all the answers. They were simply the ones who kept going, who trusted themselves, who embraced failure, struggle, and doubt as part of the journey. You have that same choice. You can listen to the world when it tells you to play it safe, to be practical, to follow the well-worn path. Or you can listen to the voice inside you, the one that refuses to be silenced, the one that reminds you why you started in the first place. This is your time, not tomorrow, not someday, now. No one will hand you your dreams. No one will build them for you. It is your responsibility, your mission, your purpose. The obstacles will come, the doubts will creep in. But in those moments, remind yourself why you began. Remind yourself that the world has never been changed by those who waited for permission. It has been shaped by those who took action, who embraced uncertainty, who refused to let their dreams die in the comfort of hesitation. At the end of your life, you will not remember the times you played it safe. You will remember the moments you took the risk, the moments you chased something that mattered, the moments you gave everything to what you believed in. That is what makes a life extraordinary. That is what turns a dream into a legacy. So step forward, take the risk, trust yourself, and above all, never stop chasing the vision that sets your soul on fire. Because in the end, the only real failure is never trying at all.